How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massive Beer Reviews, back with a little bit of Fiddlehead up in this piece in the form of, Second Fiddle, double IPA. This comes courtesy of my boy Nick. He's from Vermont. He sent me off a box of beers, and he sent this off. He's like, I don't see this beer on your channel, so I figured you should review it. And I laughed. I went, ha ha ha, I've reviewed this. No. How in the F that I have not reviewed this beer? I have no idea. I reference this beer all the time on my channel. When I talk about, like, hazy IPA, there's this, like, super turbid new school hazy thing. But really, for me, hazy IPA started with this. Started with Sip, started with Heady. You know what I mean? Those are the kind of the trifecta of the OG Vermont hazy IPA. And I always talk about it with the assumption that, okay, you can go reference that beer on my channel. Anyway, Second Fiddle, double IPA, please store cold. This was canned 3 weeks ago. And yeah, Shelburne, Vermont, Fiddlehead Brewing Company. Let's dive into this sucker. So yeah, quintessential old school New England style hazy IPA. As I pour this, you'll be like, well, it doesn't really look like, it's not really that hazy. Yeah, because that's why it's original. You put that beer in 2000 aughts. People look at it and they go, that's disgustingly hazy. Why are you producing a beer like that? Which is pretty much how these beers went down. So yeah, classic styling. Well, not classic. They actually updated the label on this, I believe. It used to be big, huge Second Fiddle going down this, kind of like that way on it. But I dig it. I can get down with it. As far as the beer looks, it just looks like a soft, slightly hazy, old school East Coast IPA. I mean, you can see through it. You can see my finger going through it, but it definitely has a haze to it. Half a pinky finger, white as white could be head. Yeah. Let's get a nose. There's something in here I don't remember getting. There's something in there. I don't know what it is. It's like I want to say lemon, but it's not lemon. I don't know what it is. So, not a huge nose here. Sweet malts, nothing too crazy, not overly, crystallized sweetness. It's not like a white sugar, refined sugar kind of sweetness. It's just a malty sweetness. From the hop side of things, very minimal, especially for an 8% change beer. We're so in tune and so ingrained to be smacked in the face with hops nowadays that, well, this would have been a perceptually more gigantic nose back in the day. Now it does come off quite a bit muted. The soft citrus notes, maybe a little bit bittering in there. Nothing all that crazy. And that little note is something I can't put my finger on. I keep wanting to lean towards lemon. I think it's more of a tartness. I hope that's not the case. Like, there's a little bit of nefarious going on in this beer. We're going to find out in the taste. But, yeah, fine nose. Nothing too crazy. Let's dive in. Cheers. No. That beer's clean, squeaky clean as could be. I don't know what that nose was. Actually, I do get a little something to taste, too. I think it's a little grain variant in there. Like a little bit of a... I keep wanting to say lemon. I don't know why. It's almost like... Okay, let's talk about the beer and we'll talk about what I think is different about it from what I remember. And it's been a while since I've had one of these. So epically clean, almost West Coast IPA kind of cleanliness. I mean, you talk about a haze on that, not big by today's standards, but still not a strictly clean, filtered, dropped out everything beer. There's a super cleanliness and drinkability of this beer, but retains kind of cool mouthfeel to it. It's soft. It's a little bit gentle. It's not overly harsh. Sweetness on this isn't big, but you get a decent bittering in there. There's a little West Coast resonance vibes in there, but nothing too aggressive. You get this nice, soft, kind of underripened kind of citrus component in here that marries with the sweetness of the malt very, very well, especially with the level of bittering you have here. Definitely hits below its weight class. Drinking this now, it tastes more like, by today's standards, more like a 6 and change IPA as opposed to 8 and change. It's just really, really well made. Minus, and I say this with the big hesitation, minus that little bit of lemon. There's a touch of lemon to this. I don't know where it's coming from. I'm definitely getting it. And what I was going to say at the beginning before I kind of said all that, it's almost like they dosed this with hops and they accidentally tossed in a bag of lemon drop hops. That's kind of how it's coming off to me. At first on the nose, I was like, is this going to be a little bit sideways? Like it's a slightly kind of kettle soury. Maybe I'm getting something like that. But no, there's no tartness to it. It's made really, really crisp and clean. You know, if you drink like really perfectly chilled, legit, non-additive, nothing kind of water, like you drink good water, I think you can tell when you drink good water. I'm not saying like Fiji versus Deer Park kind of shit. I'm just talking about, you know, the tap water versus just like Berkeyed water. We have a big Berkey set up here, and there is a difference, and that's the kind of thing. It has this kind of crispness and this cleanliness that I associate with that kind of texture. It's a very subtle, but when you get to that kind of little pop of lemon, it's almost like they accidentally dropped in a little bit of lemon drop hop into it. I don't hate it. It's just very foreign for me to get in a beer like this. It's tasty, man. It's not what I remember. I think that's more me than the beer, because I'll let you in a secret. So, I don't think Sip of Sunshine from Lawson's has changed a ton. I think it has changed over the years, especially going from, you know, Lawson's to Two Roads and sticking at Two Roads. There's been a bit of a growth to it, but it's kind of still what it was. Heady has changed a lot over the years. Like, Heady used to look exactly like that with more floaties. Heady now is just super hazy. So that has changed more with the times. I'm guessing this has stayed relatively true to form. That's my guess. I'd like to hear from you guys out there on this one, actually, because, you know, last time I had Second Fiddle was probably a few years ago, several years ago, you know, at least 3 years ago was the last time I had it. And I've always really enjoyed it. I've had to have it since, regardless, it's been a while. And I remember being a little bit more aggressive and a little bit more volumetric. Is that a thing? On both the kind of bittering, kind of danky side of things, and also on the fruit side of things. This comes off a little bit more kind of reserved, nothing too aggressive. And I think maybe that's just me thinking about misremembering the past. So for those of you in Vermont that have drank this beer on the reg, has this beer changed a lot for you? I don't think it has. Even though I'm thinking it was bigger, I think you know, beers have changed. My palate has shifted. I'm expecting more aggressiveness from beers, and this one has just stayed the course. So that way, you know, the same way it was super hazy back in the day, it's not all that hazy nowadays. Well, I think, you know, same thing's happening with the taste. It used to be bursting at the seams, and now by perceptual standards, it's a little bit more muted. I'm kind of curious about that. All that being said, I think it's absolutely tasty. Sure, there's a little bit of nostalgia here. Sure, there's a little bit of reverence here. I have no problem with that. Is it going to be the best double IPA I've had as of late? But it's still one of the better ones I've had, yes. It's still in that conversation. It's just a tasty, well-made beer. And if you just get down to brass tacks, the cleanliness and crispness of the beer and how well it's made, and that you get that old-school New England-style hazy kind of vibe, but at the same time get the super drinkable beer, best of both worlds. Value and availability on this, I can look that up right now because Nick actually sent it to me. So it's $12.99 a 4-pack. You're not going to beat that. You know, we get the base IPA down here for $14 for a pack, and I'm fine paying those prices. I'm assuming he's paying $12.99 for this. He's probably paying $10.99 for the base IPA, maybe $11.99 or something like that. But you know, that is a killer deal. And leave you with, if you like what we like this, if you like hoppy beers and you love the old school, you appreciate the new school and the distance in between, you will like this. So there you go, reviewing the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massive if you want to check me out doing the whole podcasting thing. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying a little bit of Fiddlehead right now. Hope we'll see you next time. Cheers.